I can't wait until November is over, because once I get that behind me, I can actually start to really put forth effort like I need to in judo. I kind of am in a slump right now because I'm afraid of hurting myself, and that hurting me with my exercise, especially with finding out about the vitamin D thing. It's making me wonder how strong my bones are right now, and I don't want to hurt myself and then end up not being able to work out this close to the competition. So once this is over with, I can really start thinking about advancing, because right now I'm still a white belt and I should at least have one stripe on my white belt by now, but I haven't been able to really give my all because of this. So this was an easy dish I put together. It's garlic and soy sauce and ginger, shrimp with broccoli, what else, and honey. It's honey, garlic, soy sauce, something like that. Anyway, over brown rice. So something that I've been doing that is probably going to sound confusing for someone who's on prep is I have been sabotaging myself this month. And the reason being is because subconsciously I didn't realize until a few days ago that I've been afraid, and I didn't know what that fear was about. And someone might think, oh, is it a fear of success? You get so close to it, you're afraid to succeed. Not necessarily a fear of success, it's more of a fear of going too far. I'm the type of person where I am used to creating goals and reaching them. However, sometimes I oftentimes go beyond, and I kind of lose myself in something that I'm trying to do, and I just keep going and going and going. And so I was having this fear, and I didn't know what it was about. And what it's been about is a fear of going too far with my weight loss. When I got plateaued at 135, my original goal weight, I realized that this is not where I wanted my journey to end, because everyone's weight looks different on them depending on their body composition. I realized that 135 is not the look I want to have. I want to have a leaner look. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go leaner. So now I'm at 132, and when I hit 132 a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I don't know, like I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I'm looking so thin, and I have veins popping out everywhere. I'm thinking, if I go beyond this, am I really going to like the way that I look? Am I going to recognize myself anymore? And so I started sabotaging myself because I was secretly afraid that I was, doing too much, And I always said from the beginning that I was going to do this the healthy way. And so I started to reevaluate whether November is something that I want to do, not because I don't think that I can get there, but because I think that I would be, at risk of going too far by putting that goal in front of me. Like, I would be rushing it and pushing myself too hard. My health is the most important thing in this whole thing. And so because losing further weight is not going to benefit my health, I have to be very careful of pushing myself and making it so that I damage my health to do something that's not even necessary, So, but I realize now that I have the accountability I need in my husband and in my groups with this bikini thing, and I don't need to sabotage myself. I just need to have a proper cutoff. And so I've made 120 my cutoff, whether I think the way I look is perfect or not. Some people may say, don't go for the weight, go for the body fat. that's true, but just for myself, I'm going to stop at 120 because anything beyond that is underweight, and I don't want to do that for my height. I need to stay in that range. So yeah, because overeating and being overweight is unhealthy, same thing as being underweight. I'm not doing that to myself. So that's where I am right now. I could have been further along. I could have been 130 right now if I would have not been doing that. But I did need to reevaluate, my goals and make sure I have my mentality in check. And now that I do, I can move forward knowing that, okay, this is structured, I have a cutoff, and that's where I'm going to stay. So yeah, that's unusual problem to have, especially if you have gone from being obese and overeating. You got to still be careful on the other end of the spectrum. Everything with Youth Training Zone has been going well. Next week, I'm actually going to have the class to myself because Coach Dews is going to be coaching a football camp in another city. And so I'm going to be teaching the kids alone on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to that because I think that it'll be interesting to see how I handle things by myself, which I think I'll do a good job. The kids, they know me now. They never ever gave me a problem ever. They're pretty well behaved and they listen and we have a good time. So I'm getting a lot of practice on them that I needed to have. So I'm just grateful for this experience. So I came across an old video account of me singing karaoke and stuff. And I just kept going down, down, down. And it was going, months and months ago, a year ago, and then 2 years ago. And I started snapping pictures because I was like so astonished. I was stunned at how differently I look. You look back on weight loss pictures and you see the difference, but I was just amazed. Like, I did not realize that I was that big. As time goes on, the more I look back, is the bigger I look to myself. Back then, I did not know it was that bad. And it's like I kept thinking to myself, I wish someone would have told me that's how I look. But, when I think about the people that I know that are obese and very overweight, I don't tell them how they look either. And I thought, why is that? And really it's because what most people do is we silently hope people get their act together. We don't judge them or talk about them or tell them about themselves, unless we know for a fact that their health is in danger. We pretty much kind of stay in our own lane and we kind of put information out there that can help them, but we don't go directly to them and say, hey girl, you're looking kind of messed up these days. We don't do that because especially if we don't know what that person is going through, what caused their weight gain. We don't know, the issues, the underlying issues behind it and all that. But I told my husband this several times. I wish that he would have told me that I was looking like that. And I can definitely feel it in my marriage. I could feel the distance that was growing between us. And I had a feeling that that was what it was about, but he would always deny that that's the reason why we were having a distance in our marriage and a distance with intimacy and everything. But now when I look back at the pictures, I'm like, well, I don't really blame the guy. I don't really blame my husband for feeling the way he did. But I wish he would have said something and I would have understood. It probably would have hurt a little bit just because I am human. But I have the personality type that, when someone comes to me with love and they're not being condescending and they're actually looking out for me, I listen to them and I take their advice, and I work with that, especially when it's coming from my husband's mouth and he's telling me, hey, I'm feeling not as attracted to you because of this. I would totally understand that, and I would have started working even faster if it had come from him. But when I was looking at the videos, and I was looking at me singing and everything, and I looked so happy because I like singing. But I kind of felt so bad for myself. I felt bad. I was like, you know, I just felt bad for the person living in that body, not doing things and not feeling happy with how she looked and not being able to shop how she wanted to shop, and having doors closed and dreams dashed, because of her weight, and not even really understanding that was what was holding her back the whole time. Like, just looking back at myself and realizing that so many things I couldn't have because of my weight, and but then I realized, you know what, I don't feel bad for that girl, because that girl at some point realized that she needed to get herself together, and she did, and she loved herself enough to do that. And so when I look back at myself, I don't look down on how I was and say, oh, you were weak, you were eating everything in sight, and you were reckless and all that. I just appreciate the fact that I did come from underneath that bondage and was set free from it. And seeing those images really makes me feel even more fired up, to pursue my goals. So that was some motivation that I needed to say, hey girl, stay on track with your plans and just keep moving forward, because you will thank yourself so much for it. And that's the same message that you should take away from this. You know, you will thank yourself in the future. I'm thanking myself right now for making that decision over a year ago to get back on track.